Welcome to another truly cannot miss Live at 5 right here with Sal Santori. And we are once again here in the beautiful Anvil VFW and visiting with our great friend Tim Sholly, who is not just the quartermaster here, but he's also a first responder with some of the various first responding units here. Am I correct?
Yeah, I've run with Search and Rescue Unit 66, and I'm the chief engineer on the crew, keep all the equipment running and do all the services, but then also when we're out on a call, stay back at the command trailer and run the communications, help with making sure what team is where, what teams are formed up, and then of course also work with that, kind of like with the dogs. We have trailing dogs, air scent dogs, and depending what the search thing is, what the chief's looking for, and help them organize all that. Get the teams organized.
The search dogs, am I correct that these are the ones that will go out and find folks who are missing? Is that
correct?
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, they're trained. We got the newest member to our team. He's about 13 weeks old now, so he's about 30 pounds, purebred German Shepherd, but he's going to be trained on HRD, which is human remains detection. So unfortunately, not every search is a rescue. Unfortunately, sometimes it turns into a recovery. And yeah, so it depends on what the intent is of the person you're looking for. But the majority of the dogs that we have are for trailing, which is like a ground scent, and some of the other ones are air scent, which they will pick up a human scent just in the air, and they're usually off leash, and they'll go run around, and then when they start detecting anybody, they'll head that direction. If they find somebody, then they'll come back and let their handler know, hey, I found somebody here, what have you. Right. It's really interesting watching them train the dogs to do this. Not like the ground scent, things like that nature. That's a little easier because, you have a specific scent you're looking for. And depending what the situation is, it might be, let's say somebody last seen you at their house. So we're going to try to get a pillowcase, some dirty laundry, something like that, maybe a hat you wear, because that's going to have your specific scent on it, right? Let's say they found your car sitting somewhere and you went missing. Well, then we're going to start wiping door handles, steering wheels, shifters, because that is definitely one of the three things you touch to operate that vehicle. And we'll put that on in like a sterilized gauze, and then that way the handlers, if they need to along the search, they can re-scent the dog. If the dog's like losing track or something, they can remind the dog, this is the scent you're looking for.
Right. So on the sterile gauze, and there's nothing to interfere with that.
Oh yeah, everything's sterilized. You're wearing rubber gloves, right? You're in a sterilized bag. Everything's sterilized in that scent. So the only smell they're going to get is for the person you're looking for. Okay. And it's a neat science to it that all goes into it. A lot of times, one of the things you got to look at is human scent actually is like the morning dew, and it always goes into the low-lying areas. And so also depending on what the weather is while you're looking for someone is going to change the whole parameters on how that dog is going to pick up on the scent. Just like if somebody's lost near water flows. Well, water will actually drag a person's scent with it, just like a breeze. If they're near a bush or a tree, well, the air doesn't push through a bush as easy as it does in an open field. So the scent will tend to hang around in that area longer. The science behind it is really interesting and really neat.
This is incredible information. I'm hearing things that I never even thought of.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, yeah. And until I got involved with the search team, I never thought that much of it either. All right. it's not like in, the movies, he's like, oh, the warden at the prison, go get my bloodhound, we're just gonna go track it.
Yeah.
No, it's not that easy.
Solved in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
it's not this ain't Cool Hand Luke. Right? But it is a neat science that goes behind it, and we have all sorts of mutual aid with other search and rescue teams if we need to. Their dogs and what they're trained on doing. Another thing is the type of dog. The type of dog like a Bernese mountain dog is a great scent dog. It really is. But the thing of it is, depending on the time of the year, like during the summer, they get burned out quick because they just they overheat too easy. I mean, if you're a Bernese mountain dog, I mean, that's a hang of a rug that they're wearing. That's a hang of a fur coat, right? Shepherds are really good for this stuff. Malinois, they're good. Actually, one of our teams that we work with, their chief had a Labradoodle.
Okay.
Labradoodle. And I will tell you, that was one of the best tracking dogs I've seen working it sometimes.
Now, a Labrador poodle, is that a Labradoodle?
Yes.
Okay.
And first time I seen that, I'm like, really? And really cool dog. But when that dog got on the scent, it was on scent. I mean, it's got its mission, it's going. But to the dogs, it's a game. To them, it's a game. It's like the ultimate game of hide and seek.
Okay.
Hey, you're gonna go look for this. And when they have a find, usually they get their favorite toy or their favorite snack or something like that. I know a couple dogs, their favorite snack was ground liver. It's like, oh yeah, man, they know you get the find, I get that treat,
Okay.
But it's also interesting the personalities that go with the dogs. Personalities are just as different as different people you meet. Right? I've seen dogs that were actually disappointed that did not go out to go search, right? Because now don't forget, it's like a game, but they didn't get to play the game. They didn't get to play the game, right? My chief, his old dog, Crypto. Now, Crypto passed away a little bit ago, but when Crypto got up in his later years and, his hip dysplasia wasn't too good, and you know what I mean? He was old. Well, that dog had an attitude, and if you didn't go, you heard him whimpering and carrying on. So at the end of a call, like if you had before we close up and go home, well, one of us had to go off about maybe 50, 100 feet and go hide.
Okay.
Just so Crypto could go and find us. And then you see him and he'd come back and he'd have that little bounce in his front step and he's all happy again,
That's so cool.
But he was a really good dog. Very smart. Very smart. But yeah, he actually, when you see the chief go off with another dog, you can just see Crypto like, oh, like I didn't get to play, But so Crypto and our deputy chief, which is Christy, that's Mark's wife. Her dogs, she had a good dog named Jake, and Jake passed away as well. But on the side of our command trailer, we have decals with the giant dog paw print as the dog's name and end of watch.
Okay.
And we have a memorial on the side of the trailer he goes through. And our chief's father when he passed away, because he was one of the first guys on the search team as well, his dad. And so we have a memorial for Dean on his trailer as well.
How long has the search team been up and running?
A little over 14 years now.
Okay.
A little over 14 years. We've had calls already. We're up to the New York state line. We've been asked for help already as far out as Pittsburgh. But our normal call radius is about 2.5 hours radius. Yep. I know there for a while we were going up to the Hazleton area for the longest time. It seemed like every call we had was north, But like with most other EMS places, you have busy times, you have slow times, what have you. There's busy times where myself and another guy, it just seemed like everybody else was on vacation or couldn't make it for something. Between Justin and I, we ran 5 calls in 2 days. And boy, I'm glad we had mutual aid, because we went up, set up the command trailer, and as far as we had the communications going, we were tracking the teams, who was all of the teams, everybody's in that area, who's the commander of that team. But now we also have a computer system on the truck called Sartapa, and what we can do here is we can actually track the handler and the dogs in real time on a digital map, and it's a digital topography map. And you can actually see, and everybody gets their own color. So you can see if they're about to intersect each other, if they overlap somebody else where they already went. And you can, I mean, you're constantly in radio communication with them. And it's like, all right. So they're like, we're in this area. Yep, they got a hit here. You're good. Because you don't want the search dogs to be right on top of each other either. Most times when you go out on a call, it's like, all right, whoever's the first one there, get on it right away, start tracking. And sometimes it could be 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, then we'll send out a second dog. And most times the second dog is to confirm the track of the first dog. All right? In other words, is your resources of the dogs, are they concurring with each other? They went this way. Because when you first get somewhere, you got a 360-degree radius that somebody might have went.
Right.
All right? Now, also with this, how long have they been missing? Okay. Well, that depends on how long they've been missing is also going to coincide with how well does this person move. Are they a fast walker, a slow walker? Are we looking for a 5 or 6 year old kid? Or are we looking for someone who's 80, 90 years old with dementia or something like that? And what their gait, so, and you figure
they might travel in a given time.
So that's going to determine about if they kept walking and never stopped. Well, now how far out, how big an area did that go from the time they were first missing until we even got called and showed up? How far could they have went?
That's incredible, and it's like one of those obvious things that is not obvious, because on TV they just show he went that way, and they're just following. They know exactly which way they went, how fast, where they're going. Right.
Hollywood's good, isn't it? Hollywood's good, but when it gets to real life, it's like, and certain things, everybody's just racking their brain. I mean, you're looking at it, it's like, okay, without getting too much detail, but we go into trying to build a profile right away about the person we're looking for. We're trying to find out, first of all, is there any kind of medical history? All right, like, is it someone who's on insulin but don't have any with them, or are they, are they going to be in insulin shock? Heart conditions, mental health is a big one on that one. What was the situation the last time somebody's seen them? In other words, is it somebody where there's something bad at home and they just ran away from home, or is this something that has been an onset for a while? Just what's the whole background on that person? And of course, you want to find out what's the last thing they were wearing. Right? Jeans, sweatpants, t-shirt, colors. What's their height, weight? Do they wear glasses or not? Anything along that nature. There's so many different things. We found things already where we had calls where the person themselves weren't missing. Their parents thought they were missing. I've been gone for a while. Okay. Then we get up through it. What was he doing? Well, he's going to go look for something up here on the mountain. He's going to go hiking around. All right, great. We get up there. All the dogs, man, they're going through the mountain. This is all hours of the night into the morning, right? We're looking at all the dogs that went out tracking, all went to the same point on the side of the road. He got picked up. He's not even out here anywhere. Hours and hours are spent looking for somebody that's not even there, because the dogs finally came around through and everybody, the handlers conferred, he got picked up. Okay, well, now his parents are there. They're all worried. I don't know, this, that. Cop was in town looking at different things. He goes, we always have police with us as well as the EMS. And he goes, well, I'm going to find out here, check this and whatever else. Well, stop by the one convenience store. Oh, yeah, that guy was in earlier with his girlfriend. Well, parent says, he don't have a girlfriend. Well, that was one way Mom and Dad found out that night he had a girlfriend. Well, we're looking for him. He's in his girlfriend's house with his arm around her watching TV. Because that's
Look on the news, they're looking for some guy, right?
So it's like, okay, right? Hey, he was just going about his day.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad thought he was lost. But the thing of it is, on the same token, he could have been laying up in that mountain with a broken leg. But he never told his parents that he had a girlfriend, so they never bothered to check there before they called us out and everybody else in town.
Right. Here's a random question, I think. At what point does it become like critical or relevant if the person is maybe missing involuntarily? Like, how do we get to that point where we determine?
Oh, there's so many factors come into play on that. I know the one time we got called out, and it was just east of Myerstown area, but it was a gentleman that always went out and did a walk every day. And a couple of his roommates, people that lived in the same building he did and stuff, they're like, we haven't seen him come back yet, right? Okay, so as they say, is that, how odd is that? They said, no, that's very odd. It's one of those you say to your watch by what he's doing and what have you. Okay, so we're going through, go to his room, get the search items, go around through, found him laying in a cornfield, an insulin shot. Or, because he didn't get to take his, he missed his insulin, and he was weak, being diabetic, and they found him in a cornfield. That was actually the second time we had to look for him. The first time, he ended up going into somebody else's house. I think he got confused, thought it was his place. Goes in the other
hot apple pie, I'm coming.
house was open, unlocked. He walked in, found him sleeping in Mom and Dad's bed. It's like, this kind of sounds like a kid's fairy tale or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mother Goose Tale.
Yeah, but it was too big.
Yep. One little boy decided one time, I guess he got in trouble because when he got in trouble, his mom and dad took a cell phone from him. Well, that made him even more mad.
Terrible parents, aren't they?
Terrible parents, yep. Well, apparently made him mad enough throughout the day. He's telling all his buddies at school, when he gets home, he's running away. Okay. So, of course, we don't know this at the time. This is the after stories. And so apparently he came home, put his books on the table, the whole 9 yards. He was gone. Well, of course, Mom and Dad, he's supposed to be home. He's not there. His book's here. He was here. Where is he? Don't know.
Somebody must have taken him. First thought.
Don't know. Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any kids, but I'm sure that'd probably be one of the things cross my mind. Somebody's kidnapped my baby.
12 of them. Trust me, that's a first thought.
I'm sorry.
I only know about 2 of them.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, honey.
Where's that?
I better shut my mouth.
Yeah, where's the clacker board? Cut, edit that part.
You made me say it there.
Oh, yeah. Twisted the arm on that one. I didn't do it. What was funny about this kid, he was on the autistic scale. All right. Well, apparently, he had an uncle that worked at an outdoor store. And he walked from his place to this outdoor store where his uncle worked. Finally caught up with him in the parking lot where the store was, and this was miles away from his house. So we talked to him later. It's like, well, what made you want to go over here? Well, my uncle worked here at the outdoor store. That's where I was going to get all my gear to go live in the woods when I ran away from home. So he figured his uncle would hook him up with all the gear. So the background, what's the thought process? Where are they going? Because when you first start to look somebody from their house, do you have any idea on where your scent is around that house and how far in whatever directions and how long it's been there? So do you finally get a trail in what direction? I mean, you're well aware at some points until the dogs figured out, this is abnormal for this scent to be here. So he wasn't in a car, he was walking. And he was walking from Middletown over in the direction of the Harrisburg East Mall.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not right next door.
Yeah.
No,
that's not even like good next store kind of.
No, he was tracking. He was going for a walk. Yep. So, but yeah, they can disappear real quick on each other, on us or their family. And there again, does the person suffer from Alzheimer's? Do they have dementia? Are they just seriously depressed? Are they autistic? You know, there's so many background things because the average person you really don't have to look for, right? Now, every now and then you might get the lost hunter here and there.
Yeah.
What I didn't understand one time was having that call for a lost skier in the woods during the winter. He's out skiing. They said he's missing.
I'm almost afraid to ask about this one.
I'm just wondering why you can't follow your same tracks back. It's not like you can't, you know, but yeah, when he found it, he's like, yeah, I got lost, couldn't find my way back. It's like,
did the snow change color or what happened? Got some new snow there, I couldn't find my old foot.
just do a 180 and follow your bread trail that you left for yourself. And go. But no, it's things, odd things, you know, and sometimes you would have never thought they were where they were, you know. But then again, that's a lot of times why you have multiple dogs, multiple teams, and you're going different directions, everything else. And you're always looking at clues. Like, you know, one of the things, like, let's say you went missing. We got called out for you. Well, does he smoke? Yes. What kind of cigarettes does he smoke? How often does he smoke? Things along that nature. Because what we're going to be doing then is, well, of course, you know, we're looking for your type of cigarettes anywhere, or an empty cigarette pack, and then how often you smoke. If we're on the right trail, well, then this could also possibly tell us how often are we going to find a cigarette butt or something along that nature to confer where we're going. Things along that nature. So we were looking for a kid one time up around the Centralia area. Same thing, right? Yep, there's footprints, right? Hey, this looks like a fresh footprint. Well, how wide is that footprint? How long is it? How far in there at? The deeper the footprint, the heavier the person. But then you also take in, is it a wet ground, is it dry ground, what do you have? That kind of, all the little science that comes in behind all these things to help you figure out where it is. But then another thing is too, then we see a picture of the footprint. Well, most sneakers all have their same or their own brand's pattern. Does he wear Converse? Does he wear Nikes? Does he wear this? You take a picture, can this match up to that type? Little things like that all go into whether this could be the person you're looking for or not. You know, a lost shoe, this, that, or whatever else have you. There's so many different clues.
So much different than, you know, so much more real than what they show on TV, which is where 99% of us get our ideas from on what it must be like.
Right.
You know, and then it's solved in 20 minutes rather, and everybody's either happily ever after or something's moving on. But to spend this time with you, and of course we spend much more here in a minute, but to spend this time with you to even just begin to understand the science that goes into it, and the depth, and obviously the training and the long time it takes to train the dogs and the handlers, as well as, you know, the rest of the team. It's not a matter of, you know, go through a book out of 6 classes and you're so.
Oh no, you're always learning. You're always learning. So there's all these different things to learn what it is you're looking for, and you can get trained on this, take class, but if you're not having the understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, well, then it's going to take you longer to figure it out, or you'll never figure it out. You need to know why, right? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? Because how does everything interlock with each other, where each step there's a reason for, you know, like I said, there's a method to the madness, what it is.
Would you agree that you need to understand the why to be able to make sense of the how?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just go through the paces, you know, subconsciously, like, yeah, I'm just going through the motions, you know, like you say, what's it say? Just check the box. Just check it. You can't just check the box, you know. You're not helping anybody else out if you don't know what you're doing.
You're not even helping your team.
Not even helping the team. So
as military people, that's always our first thought.
Teammates, right? I rely on you to do your job so I can do my job, and together we're both going to make this happen. Right, absolutely. You know, go ahead.
want to go on to our next segment here, but I'd like to ask, this just opened up a whole new area of wonder. You know, people are going to have questions that they wouldn't even thought of before this show, and including me. You know, what I'm thinking is I'll go ahead and I'll invite people to send questions or even call me here at the studio or on my cell phone or send me emails, send questions that we can get answers to. I think you and I will spend, you know, some good time visiting, you know, every other week, whatever.
Okay.
So we can get back together, revisit some of these questions and some of the things folks are going to want to know, because this is very deep, very interesting.
Yeah, maybe sometime we'll have to come out to one of our trainings and maybe you can get lost and we'll have to find you.
You know what? I bet you it'd be really easy to not find me because nobody would look.
Is he missing? Haven't noticed him.
The fish would be in from the casinos, folks. Don't find me. Don't find me.
What are the odds we're going to find this guy? I don't know. Hey,
Call Vinny out in Vegas. He'll tell you.
what are the odds of the condition when we find him? He's going to be happy? He's going to be pissed? He's going to be drunk? He's going to be sober? What is he going to be? Oh, shit. Well, as long as you don't mind dogs coming up and saying, hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
you know? Right? Right? It's most times though when the dogs find people are like, hey, how you doing? Because they were in whatever condition for so long. Whatever you get, They say we had a lot of interesting cases.
Like that dog for his biscuit.
Good luck with that one, brother. Good luck with that one.
Well, folks, I love that idea. I think we should plan for like an on-site training visit. I think that's a great idea. It'd be a great follow-up.
Yeah, we can show you the equipment, introduce you to the team, because we're always looking for volunteers. You know what I mean? And everything we do is 100% volunteer.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of fundraisers had to be, done to get not only the command trailer and the equipment there. We also have a UTV, and of course, to buy that UTV, that was a lot of fundraising going on there too to pick one of them up. So then, keep going. So, there's a lot of fundraising that had to be done to get that UTV. But the thing of it is, all the insurance is all fundraised. I mean, we don't get grants from the state like a fire department does. Yeah, we're not recognized under the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that we can get a grant from the state.
So just to dig in a crawl here, so this is not something the casinos fund?
Not at all.
Not at all? Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
No, this is all out of our own pocket. I mean, right now, like, my team had a utility vehicle, and it just got that old, and nickel and dime the team, and everything else. So my personal vehicle right now is leased to the team, and my pick-em-up truck is the utility vehicle right now until we can get enough funds to purchase that the team has a utility vehicle of its own.
Tim, this is the type of guy you are. You are really, I've said it previously, what a great friend to the community you are. And here at the VFW, you are the quartermaster, as well as volunteer in several other areas. I don't think if someone asked you for something and said, no, that's not my job, I don't see you saying that ever.
No, you're right. I'm going to try to find whatever resource I can to help them. If I can't help myself, I'll guide them in the direction of somebody who can. But then again, that's going to be somebody also that I know would be willing to help them, not pass the buck. But it's like, you need to talk to this person. And the person I'm going to direct you to, I'm going to know that person myself personally. Now, granted, depending on what it is you might need, I might say, hey, you got to talk to the VA hospital for that. Now, there's over 4,000 people that work out there. I don't know everybody. You know what I mean? And
Shake hands, kiss babies, still don't know all, right?
But, depending on other things that it is, it's going to be somebody in a field that you're looking for. I don't know, you could be somebody that's like, man, I'm having trouble, like, even with accounting things. I got a couple friends that are accountants. Let me direct you over that way. They can help answer your question to find a better answer of what you're looking for, or ask you that question of something you didn't even realize you needed to think of. You know what I mean? I'm going to put you somewhere if I can't handle it myself. And most times or whatever, I'll talk to that person of my friend. I'll talk to them first before I refer to anybody else to them, just to see if,
Right.
hey, you got anything going? Can you talk to this person first or whatever? So I just make sure everybody's copacetic before I say, all right,
Yeah.
so let me give you their contact information.
Right.
That way you don't get a cold call someday. Hey, well, Tim said to do this. And you're on the other end going, what? That son of a bun. You know what I mean? Yeah, no.
Give me Tim's number.
Yeah, no, I'll help you out of here. I don't know how many times I pulled people out of ditches on the snow and the side of the road too and stuff along that nature, Oh, and the next best thing, if you want to make friends, buy a trailer. Yeah, next thing, have a pickup truck. You got lots of friends that way too, especially on moving day.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, I got to move. Can I borrow your truck? Yeah.
So you're not telling me you're moving next month for nothing, are you?
Yeah.
Never even knew you before today when you saw me get out of my truck.
Yeah, right. Hey, by the way, yeah.
Well, I got hat you got on there, Bubba.
Yeah. Well, you remember, when North Carolina got hit with that storm and all the flooding they had down there. One of our patrons here, he went down. Also, the guys from the Corvette Bar and Grill.
Okay.
They got together, got a bunch of stuff.
That's something about that.
Yeah, we got a bunch together, and our post here was a drop-off point for anybody that wanted to donate something. So, people would show up at the door, they'd call ahead or whatever, and we kept it over in our shed. And then, one day, all right, well, we got another place that we're going to, which is actually where they're going to put all the donations together in one facility, all right, and start separating all like items together. All baby care, elderly care, food, stuff that's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like dry goods, canned goods, things like that. They wanted to separate all the items and stuff. So, of course, there it is. My truck and a couple other guys stuffing what you can, and they were moving it over to the next place. But it's all about helping each other out community-wise and what have you. You know what I mean? Because at that time those people were not getting near the help they should have been getting, and it was turned into more politics than anything.
Want to give them $300 per person? Was that? Or was it even less? Like 2 or something crazy?
I want to say I think it was 700, but then I forget. And there was a lot of rumors going on about that too. You know what I mean?
My question is, if it's all wiped out, where are you spending the money anyway?
Yeah.
So why are you insulting me by telling me you're going to give me 700 measly bucks when you know I can't do anything with it anyway? How about sending some food, some workers, some materials? How about something real, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was such a fiasco going on down there and stuff, but there was a lot of good people from what I heard from my friends that went down there and did that and what have you. Our search team was actually contacted about taking the HRD dog down and doing that. But that's not my call. That's the chief's call and the handler's call, what have you. I think something came up where they did not go down. But it was, the request from all the way in North Carolina was all the way up this far looking for people with search dogs because there's so many towns got wiped out, So, yeah. But there again, it doesn't matter where, right? So that happened in North Carolina. It doesn't mean we can't help them from up here to help them down there. You know what I mean? It's people taking care of people because you can. You don't have to.
Right, because you can.
It's because you can. And it doesn't hurt to help somebody else out.
Friday's the 20th anniversary celebration, commemoration of Katrina.
It's 20 years already.
Yeah. There's a fellow down there in the community of New Orleans, and in '06 he did the first commemoration, the first annual, and they've done it every year since, and they've gotten a lot of support down there. And they're asking that at 11:20 a.m. on Friday to have I forget exactly how long, but we're going to say at least 1 minute of silence nationwide at 11:20 a.m. on Friday.
Gotcha.
So I'm kind of like reminding folks to try and be mindful of that. It's special to me because I took a crew and we went down to New Orleans we were supposed to do framing and rebuilding on the houses. We got down there with our crew and tools to do that, and the area we got to was not ready for us.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing some roofs down there. I don't know how fond folks are of 12-pitch roofs, but I am not. But I did.
Not anymore. No.
Yeah, it was like, wow, yeah. And the roof lines are what the homeowners down there are most proud of. The roof lines. And it's like, it was such a tragic situation, such a tragic environment. We got down there and I could tell, and I was over, we went across Lake Pontchartrain, which is like the longest bridge in the world.
Yeah.
And like 60 miles an hour for an hour, you're starting to get to the other side. It's that. And we went over in town. There were areas, and the guy, I listened to on the news yesterday, he said exactly this. When we were down there, I saw parts of New Orleans that I could just tell were never going to come back. They were that far. And the fellow that was on the news yesterday, the community member that I'm talking about, actually said that. He said, here we are 20 years later, and there's a lot of improvement, a whole lot of improvement. He said, but there are still those areas that are never coming back. And it was just so eerie to hear him say that, because I saw it and it was like, I just knew.
Well, you see, when you have major events like that, like Katrina, like North Carolina getting flooded, the floods that were down in Texas, all right? Those storms literally changed the topography of the land. There's some things that will not be coming back because it physically changed that much. The terrain changed that much. No, it's not going to be the same as it was before, you know? And it is unfortunate for the people that live there. I mean, that's their whole lives uprooted and devastated. But the same thing happened in Pennsylvania during the Johnstown flood. So I mean, there was whole families swept away out there at that time. So it's like, it's a bad deal. But as with anything else, persevere, move on. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Okay.
That's right.
This is what it is now. Yeah. Then, what's the old adage? Can't cry over spilled milk.
Well, look at
it happened.
Jed. Look at Granny and Jed. They just grabbed Smelly May and loaded up the truck and moved to
Beverly Hills. Yeah, Texas Tea helped them out a little bit down there, didn't it? Yeah.
Before we go too far, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that the club has for veterans. Obviously, we see what we see. The wonderful club, all right, the camaraderie. We heard some folks earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Just having a good time, just being here with friends.
That's it. It's an extended family, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey, come around and hang out with your buddies, smoke and joke, carry on, you know what I mean? Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
Now, there's been a recent development, and that is that the VFW, the board here, has agreed to be the contact point for Lebanon County for Project Intervene.
Correct.
And this is all about educating. The whole goal in a nutshell is veteran suicide prevention. And obviously, we're not going to limit it to veterans. We would never say, I'm sorry,
If we were, we would not be serving the community again. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You say we're still serving. We're not maybe not a military uniform, but we're still serving the community. The reasons that we enlisted in the first place was because this is my home. This is my way of life. This is what we're serving. You know what I mean? I'm serving my fellow man in my country.
Yeah.
So it can't just be just for veterans. You need help.
So we want to let veterans and families know, as well as the community at large, anyone in the community, because the bylaws that were written for the K-Zern Community and Veterans Outreach was just that, community and veterans. So there is no one that is unable to be helped. We're open for everyone. So by being a point of contact here, anyone, anywhere, and especially in the Lebanon County area, that may need some help, need support, need to talk to somebody and say, hey, my husband, my wife is a veteran, and these things are going on, and I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. Well, this is a great place to reach to begin to find that out. Right here at the club. Tim, I don't know the contact number off the top of my head. Could you just share that with us?
Yeah,
please?
the phone number for the post right here is 717-867-2761. And that's the only phone number we have here for the post. And between 8 in the morning until 3 in the morning, I mean, there's somebody here to answer the phone.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by all means, the only question that is maybe a foolish one is the one that doesn't get asked.
Heard that all my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
So by all means, if you think you have a question, that means you do. Please ask it. Either come in here to the club, give a call, and just say you need to speak to a service officer, a veteran, anyone.
Absolutely.
Someone will take your call and say, okay, let's talk, let's figure out the next step, let's see what we need to do.
Yep.
And we'll definitely become engaged.
Start helping you get some answers to those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate not knowing.
Exactly.
What I mean?
Right?
I hate not knowing.
Yeah. Well, that's what started this whole thing back in 2014. I went through some very serious experiences with PTSD and some traumatic situations that I didn't react very well to, and found myself seeking help from the VA. And it was at the urging of another veteran, because I was of the mindset the VA had nothing for me. I've got my arms, my legs. You have nothing for me.
VA's where my grandparents went. That's where the war.
Yeah.
I was the same way. That ain't for me. I'm too young for that.
Right. So this veteran happened to be a World War II veteran friend of mine, actually. So it could, give the VA a call, give them a try. Well, I did. To make a long story short, I ended up finding and realizing the VA had resources that I had no idea that existed.
Right.
So,
yep, same here.
I realized that if I don't know, well, guess what? I can't be alone in not knowing. So I happened to be working for a radio station at the time, and it's like, what better way to get information out en masse than radio? It's still your best bang for the buck.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's just talk about reaching the masses.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So it's like we started putting information out for veterans. Now here we are, 12 years later, and you and I are sitting talking pretty much along the same lines.
Yeah.
And still letting folks know what's nobody had a clue of the depth of the rescue missions like you're talking about.
Now they see it going down the road, and we're at the fair every year. People come by, and it's like a petting zoo most times. They always let me pet the dog. Every now and then you get somebody that comes up and asks you about it, and they want to volunteer, they want information. All right, here's our contact information. This is what needs to happen. But it's kind of a shame on that aspect, though, because you can't just say, hey, I'm going to come out and help you today. Oh, no, you got to go through this background check. Are you kid-friendly? Felonies, misdemeanors, things like that, because you're going out in different areas. You got to play with people's homes sometimes. So the whole background, and it's the same thing for the fire department, too. It's like, yep, got to get this class. There's they say, an entity called NIMS, National Incident Management System. And with that, there's levels 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, right? So depending, you got to have certain of those levels, certain amount of training. So it doesn't matter if I'm here in Pennsylvania or I'm working with a search team in Maryland, West Virginia, we all have the basic, it's all basic understandings for everything. And, so whether they come here, I go there, we're on the same sheet of music. We understand how things work. Sure. So, yeah, I commend anybody that wants to volunteer and help. The sad thing is there's so many regulations on certain things. That's what kills a lot of people from wanting to help. It's like, oh, you mean I got to take this class? You mean I got to do this yet and everything? I just want to go out and help. Yeah, as much as I'd love to bring you in and let you just help, well, you got to pass the certain things on paper, be certified before we can ever do that. And of course, that comes down to more regulation, liability, the insurance. It's
just hope like hell we don't have too many emergencies until we get somebody approved.
I think that's one of the biggest things why you see so many volunteer organizations in the EMS that are always on, drives for recruitment. How many fire departments are always looking for volunteers helping the fire departments? Your volunteer ambulance crews, right? Paramedic crews, search teams. If it's a volunteer service anymore, if somebody's coming out, you gotten somebody that's a little more committed than somebody that might be fly by night, but it's really lessens the numbers. So, like I said, I've been with it for years, and I've seen a lot of turnover, a lot of turnaround, different reasons. But for the younger kids, the younger crowd that has newborns or something, when you get a call out at 2 in the morning and you got to drive 2 hours in the winter in the snow or something like that to go try to look and find somebody, and it's like, well, all of a sudden now you're going to figure out, well, who's taking care of the kid, or his life and this, and it's a lot, it can be. So a lot of people's home life, I think, it has a major effect on the volunteering of that. Now your local fire department, well, you're not driving 2.5 hours to go find somebody. It's right within your community, right?
Here's something for our next visit. We're going to talk about the levels of maturity in today's 20-year-olds versus 20-year-olds from the 80s.
You really want to open that can of worms?
Next time. Next time. We know that's a humongous.
What are you talking about, man? They're no different today than what they were back in the 40s. What are you talking about?
Hi, Grandpa, could you hand me my Game Boy?
Right.
Yeah. There is one thing that I do want to say is way mega new and improved over the 40s, and that is the food that you guys have here. Oh my God. Yes.
Well, no more green eggs and Spam.
Added eggs or not? We had those too,
I never thought I'd see the day when we were out training one time, and this was in the 90s, and I was eating food that was packaged in the 70s.
Well, you were lucky. Ours was World War II stuff all the way. We had the boxes of sea rats.
Bless your son.
My father told me that. I'm really not that old, folks.
It's your lie. Tell it like you want.
Yeah. But I want to tell you, Tim invited me over today to try. Today is it rice day? Is that how it's?
Every Monday is fried rice on the specials, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And Tim invited me over today, so we decided, instead of trying to figure out which one we might want to have, we decided to get a chicken fried rice and a shrimp fried rice and switch them, compare the two.
Yeah, I thought I'd make it easy. Say just two of the same orders. Somebody else had this brilliant idea. Let's get one of each. It's like, you know what, that actually worked out pretty good. We could have got the beef, could have got the chicken with the broccoli in there, you know what I mean?
How about next Monday?
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, hurt my feelings.
Thanks, Tim. This,
it's
no exaggeration.
Yeah. Yeah, portion sizes is not a problem here.
This is not the place you're ever going to decide, did I get my money's worth type of thing.
Yep.
Never. It's always like way more.
And if you ever talk to anybody that's been here before and eaten, you can ask them. It's like if you go away hungry, it's your own problem.
Right. Yeah.
Because
plenty. What are some of the other things that the specials coming up this week? I guess.
I don't have those yet.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't. My kitchen manager doesn't tell me what the specials are. I have it all figured out until Wednesday.
Okay.
And our specials start on a Thursday. So Thursday to Wednesday. Every Thursday to Wednesday is a special for that week.
Okay.
And we throw a drink special along there as well. But every week we go out through, we have like we kind of watch what the pricing and stuff as far as a lower price, mid price, or an upper price. Last week we had the seafood boil. Oh, baby, that was good. You remember in school you used to get those trays in the cafeteria?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took 2 trays to come out with that boil.
Wow.
That was good stuff.
Wow.
It was
There's always plenty of room in my school tray, too.
Yeah, in school was. Yeah. But you had a pound of shrimp, a pound of crab, a pound of lobster claw, a pound of clams, and then you had the corn on the cob, the sausage, the broccoli, and the little red potatoes of that.
Wow.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
Is that coming back anytime soon?
I'm going to tell you, I think we're doing that at almost like it's like twice a year.
Okay.
I mean, and usually when that comes around, we'll start asking about pre-orders as well.
Yeah.
And then you usually get somewhere in the mid-30s, 30, 35 pre-orders on that.
Okay.
So depending on the pre-orders, he'll also work with how many total meals he'll prepare, all right? And he might have maybe then like 55, 60 of them, but they're gone within the first 3 days if you didn't pre-order. Even the ones that come in here and there, oh, I didn't know you had that. I'll take one. And they go quick.
Wow.
They go quick.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah. It's a, like, yeah.
Tim, tell us, we want, folks want to come in, and I know I've heard some grumbling about people, well, you need to be a member to come in. And tell us a little bit about the social club or the veterans membership, because it's such a small price to set aside to be able to come in for all this great food.
Yeah, our membership at our post, whether you're a social member, auxiliary, it doesn't matter, it's $20.
Okay.
$20 a year for the membership. Of course, if you're a veteran, our post, if you are a veteran, a combat veteran, all right, veterans of a foreign war, I mean, that's what we're here for. So if you're a certain proven combat veteran of a foreign war, and we are your home post, we pick up the cost of that. So my combat veterans at my post don't pay anything. The post pays for that.
Okay.
We have enough different ways that we can come up with the funding that we can afford to do so. And of course, most of that is the golf tournaments that we have every year. That brings in a lot. We run 2 of them a year. So things like that, between paying for all our vets, I'd also be fighting for the national home for VFW also. But anyway, so come on up to the B. It's better if you have a sponsor, which somebody that was here already to sponsor you. So yeah, it's only $20. And if you're a veteran, you want to come up there, a combat vet, bring us your DD-214. Prove to be your combat vet. Makes the organization happy. If you're a father, your grandfather, or should I say direct family lineage, unfortunately aunts and uncles don't count, right? But whether you're male or female, mom could have been combat vet, whatever, we'll get you in those auxiliary. And if you're an auxiliary member, then you can go to any VFW. You don't have to be a member of that particular post. You can get into that post. Same with, being a veteran status, of course. But social members, you're that's only for that post or that club you went to. So like if somebody's a social member here, Anvil, well, that social membership doesn't mean anything to get into Palmyra or Myerstown or Lebanon, you know what I mean? You're a social member of my post. If you want to become a social member at their post, then you got to pay their dues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for $20 a year,
Good.
folks can come here and just have the greatest food around.
We'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen it.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I know one of the specials we have this week, my kitchen manager, Todd, has his own Southern fried chicken.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that's, yeah, that pretty much puts Chick-fil-A on the run for their money, I'll tell you that. It does.
Colonel Sanders left town, did he?
He's dead. We ought to dress him up sometime like Colonel Sanders. I'll dress you up like Colonel Sanders to promote the chicken special.
For our global greatest of all time family of viewers and listeners, thank you again for visiting with us and visiting with our great friend Tim Sholly right here on Live at 5 with Sal Santori. Thank you, and until next time.